Greetings, jury members. We are Team Last Ride from IIIT Jabalpur, and the theme which we have opted for the Walmart Sparkathon challenge is Future of Retail. We are going to cover some important topics and the challenges which we see that Walmart and its subsidiaries like Flipkart, PhonePe, and Myntra faces. So our team consists of four members: Priyanshu Raj, Rakshit Satyakumar, Priyanshu Sinha, and Rajat Jain. Now coming to the problem statement which we feel. Thinking and just looking at the last year's stats and records, we found that Walmart has high expenses on stock purchases. This basically means that they actually like they just purchase stock, but their stock doesn't get sold in the limited time. And the means that the item which they are going to store in the warehouses, this creates a problem for them. As in the long run, it might happen that the demand may fall, and the price and or the selling price of that product may fall short of the cost price. This generates some losses for Walmart, and this is also a rental issue as it creates problem to occur the rents as it occupies much space. Secondly, the issue that we feel is gap between sell and Walmart. Like suppose Walmart is having three different sellers and like A, B, and C, and all the three sellers are selling three different products. Now it may happen that yeah, although three are selling the same product, but the rating for one seller is more than the average rating for the same product. So it might be the case that they are trying some different false methods to get attention for their product that people might give good ratings to them and more people will try to purchase from their side. In that case, if A is the one getting maximum benefits and the best rating, so people or the audience may automatically switch towards the A seller, and the B and the C seller may not get perfectly benefit from it. So they may try to leave Walmart and like Flipkart platform and go to some other platform like Amazon, which creates a problem for Walmart also, as if the seller is going to some other platform, it creates a challenge for them. The third point or the improvement that we feel is improving apparel trial experience. Now suppose now the Gen Z days, as we know, customers are more and more focused on buying cool clothes or the one that suits their fashion. But it might be the case that someone is ordering five clothes and they are just going to keep two and just return three to back to Walmart or Flipkart, whatever we are considering. But the point is the cost that is incurred in shipping the product, getting it delivered, and then taking it back is too huge for Walmart. So we are just trying to make such a system that the user can see herself in the Gen AI or the code that we are going to write and can just try virtually using VR the different kinds of products or the dresses. So it might create some help and solve the issue of returning the products. Then coming to expansion in tier 2 cities, we have just added some stats which we are going to show you in the next slide, where we are focusing at how different kind of partners and the competitions are focusing to expand in tier 2 cities. At tier 1 cities are having all the facilities, but a major chunk of people or the revenue is generated in the tier 2 cities only. And lastly, we are going to focus on optimizing inventory and supply relations, that how we can just expand and manage the inventory by creating an efficient bot system or through AI that of the manual work is reduced so that less and less people are involved in calculating the inventory there and how it has to be managed and shipped. Like AI will just do all the things and just reduce some to some extent the expenses incurred by Walmart. So firstly, we are coming to the data analysis, and this is somewhat that we have checked and gathered through the different parameters on which a tier 2 city person or a customer generally prefers that from which store they should buy. For example, the first parameter is the best balance between good price and good quality. So people are like that they want to expend such a they don't want to expend too high, and they also want to get a good quality. Second is the highest quality products, that no one wants to get those products which are like common to all and they want different designs. Coming to the best prices, then obviously in tier 2 cities, it's mostly the middle class people, and that's the segment which is generally targeted in India. So the best price is always there. Coming to the largest range of organic or sustainable products, that becomes a challenge as no one is interested in buying that products which are just common to all and many people are wearing the same thing. So they always want something new and changeable. Then highest convenience. Now suppose if I am going to a store and I am feeling that whatever if I'm ordering and there is a long queue there, like people are standing there, I may return back just looking at the queue. So we may adopt some techniques to reduce the queue timings, and the best part is the best promotional offers in the week. The promotion doesn't mean that we are just hiring celebrities and including the high cost. Now coming to the some brands like which are focusing or are focused in India, like the B2B platforms of payment or direct to consumers or the new MT platforms, but we are just trying to get Walmart as such a space that it becomes an omni-channel ecosystem, and it is efficient to match all the categories by themselves. Now, coming to the first problem statement that we talked about, like suppose Walmart has to just check how much inventory is left there. Like I'm just working on the warehouse and I am having a huge stock. So it creates a problem for me that yeah, I have plenty of stocks in the beginning, but it might happen that as expected, the product may not get sold and it's there for a long time. That may become outdated with the fashion, changing fashion, and it also creates rental issues with the Walmart that we have to pay there. So we are just trying to develop a system like time series analysis, and that we are going to use the different Gen AI techniques and feature engineering and then forecasting generation output input such that our dashboard will be created which will be able to help us to know that which product is present there and what is the expected time in which the product is expected to be sold, and at what time we need to get more and more such products which must be there in the stock to get maximum profitability. Also, there is a concern factor that we should target that by what time the product needs to be sold, otherwise there is a less scope. Suppose like this, I am just thinking, yeah, in winter season, I'm just selling the winter clothes, so there will be a fixed time that by this time the clothes must be sold. Now, if I'm telling about electronics, like it's off season, and everyone knows that in winter, the off season, like the prices of AC gets reduced or the coolers get reduced, but in the peak time, like May, the prices are generally high. So we can just change it by comparing our AI model with all the platforms there, by comparing all the platforms and working on it, that our price must be such that it is, we just taking an average price which is better than the rest of the prices in the peak time, where that people might feel that yeah, we should order from there, and it has to maintain in such a way that even if less sales is there in off season, in on season we are able to get so much high prices and profitability that it may not it may help us to get edge over the other competitions. So this is the ER model on which we are working, and Akshay is going to further explain it.
So thank you, Priyanshu. Let me continue with the ER model right now. The ER model is based on the assumption that we are going to take while building the prototype. The prototype that we are going to build is based on the assumption that we are going to track the or all the orders for that particular seller that has been given to by the users, and these order reviews will be trained will be taken into consideration whether to check whether the review that is given by the particular user is false or not, because we want to maintain the gap. We want to reduce the gap between the sellers and the Walmart, because if there is a trust issues between the seller and the Walmart, many sellers will leave the platform, which will in turn cause a loss for the Walmart itself. So this is the so here we can clearly see that the ID of the user is been linked to the seller's user review, such that we can train with this database that we are going to mention, and the orders and all the discounts for that particular Walmart store has been mentioned via the ER model details. It is also taken into the assumption that we are going to build a separate dashboard for each users, such that they can track their own orders, their own savings for that particular week, bi-weekly, monthly, such that they can get a user notification system. The entire notification system is to plan out to give a ease to the user, such that they can, if the Walmart is having any special deals, for example, there is a winter deal or a Diwali deal, they can get a highest possible discount if we can try to get a we can notify the users based on their dashboards. So, coming on to the different components architecture that we have used in our prototype, or that we are going to use in the prototype. So this is the basic workflow of the notification system. We are going to use a basic message queue in order to track the messages that we are going to get from the Amazon Lambdas function, and we are going to add a cron job for each Lambda services, such that we can send a notification to the users based on the different processes, such as the push notification or the push notification, or the pop-up notification, or the email notification system, and all are going to be an inner join between the users on users ID. And yeah, that's it about the notification system. Now, coming on to the basic workflow of our entire architecture, the database that we are going to use for the training and the model testing that we are going to use is the BERT model. The BERT model is basically will help us to get all the false reviews for that particular sellers that has been reported. For example, if the average order value in that particular category for any product is 4.8, 4.2, and the sellers of any particular for that same product category is 4.8, there's some suspicious activity that has to be attained by the Walmart. If not attained, that the other sellers might leave the platform, which can incur the loss. So coming on to the database, there are three databases that we are going to train the entire model with: the user database, the seller database, and the payment database. We are going to collect the data. We're going to process the data basically. Then we'll run a basic NLP engine in order to track, uh, in order to get the results for from the basically our model. Here we have used the BERT integration in order to process and create the model parameter results, based on which we have to present some information from to the front end. Basically, any chat interference or any web app interference or any mobile UI can be used here. And as I mentioned earlier in the notification system, that we can use Twilio and the SendGrid method in order to implement that basic notification system, which is also going to be trained by AI, which is also going to be trained by ML, such that we can create a dynamic or more responsive sort of a notification to the users, or more customized way. Next. So coming on to the entire systems architecture, though we can clearly see that this is the notification system that we have implemented. This implemented notification system is an is a part of the system. Basically, we have implemented the load balancers in the router. The router load balancers can be made to geo routing based on the number of requests that we are getting, and all the data can be cached in order to serve, in order to perform at the best. The entire model that we have developed, or the let me tell you this as a black box. This can be trained by the user's response, and can be given back to the users based on the training of the inputs from the database that I earlier mentioned, that is the user database, seller database, and the payment database. So based on which we can provide the best possible output for the front end. Here the front end is generally, what I'm trying to mention is a more of sort of a dashboard system, such that a user can view all the trackings basically for the Walmart, Flipkart, and the Myntra. Basically, we're trying to act as an horizontal venture for the vertical addition. So that's it about the system architecture. So coming on to the frameworks and the tech stacks for our proposed prototype. So for the front end, we are going to scale up with the Next.js and the types with the help of the TypeScript support or the JavaScript support, with the help of the vanilla CSS or with the help of Sass CSS. For the backend, we can use the Golang or the Rust, but basic according to the given request, we are starting off with the Node.js one. For the coming on to the database, for the caching, we are using Redis, and for the MongoDB, for the databases, we are using SQL MongoDB, and NoSQL, SQL's MySQL, and MongoDB as a NoSQL database, starting as a Cassandra for caching purposes. Coming on to the machine learning, PyTorch, NLP, and TensorFlow may be used. And for data visualization, we are going to use MATLAB and NumPy. For coming on to the payments, we are going to use mainly PhonePe's SDK for continuing our entire architecture for the payments and the related queries. And coming on to the Kubernetes and the DevOps in order to maintain the containerization for the entire tech stack, since this project can be a bit huge.
So now we have talked about the detailed segment, whether it's Flipkart or Walmart going to work in the tier 2 cities or the tier 1 cities also. Now it's coming to the fashion segment, which is the most feared of the Gen Zs, or the fashion which is going to change every day. So this is the proposed technique which we are going to work using the OpenCV. It's like we are using virtual reality to just check that, yeah, whatever is the trial, like whatever clothes you want to trial, you can just check that how they are going to look, rather than just ordering them and getting them returned, so that incurring more costs. So this is all the things that we have planned that it will work for Walmart. So now we would like to conclude it. So I hope that the jury must have liked it, and hoping that, yeah, we may get opportunity to further share the same with you all and jury members and work on it. So thank you, Walmart, for this wonderful opportunity.